Hello viewers, welcome to Angular 8 tutorial, and today we are at session 20 and gonna to begin with ngIf Directive. This is the our first structural directive. I would say please go to my session 20, which is the intro to structural directive, so you will get understand what is all about the structural directive is. So let's start with. So as the name suggests, it's like ngIf. So the ng is nothing but a tag from Angular. ngIf is one of the structural derivative we do have out of the main build tree built-in derivative, like for ng4, ngIf and ngSwitch, and which takes a boolean expression, and based on that boolean expression it will decide the element either required to appear or it needs to be hide, right? So here you can see like we have a div, and within div we are simply having a text called display section, and this display section will be displayed or the binded to the DOM element based on this value is visible. If this is visible is gonna to be true. Yeah, if it is true, let's, if it is yes, then it is going to be appear here, and if it is no in the says false, then it will hide or disappear the element if it is already binded to the DOM element. So let's see on action. Okay, so begin with the HTML. First I need to create a property called is visible quickly of type boolean. Yep. So initially let's go for trio. Okay, and it's all done, and as you know we need to put one more div. Yeah, so div display section. Yeah, so now to this div I'm just gonna to render using the our first structural derivative star ng if this is the one. Okay, and it is expecting one boolean expression, of course, and here if you'll see it's visible is there. Now I've saved. Let's transfile it using the ngserve command, and let's see whether it is going to display or not. Okay, the build has been started and it is going to finish. So once it will launch with the default port we have 4200, we will, yeah, it is done. We will go to the browser and test it. Okay, so like let's move to localhost 4200. Yeah, so now here you can see there is one text called display section. Okay, and let me do one thing, like I just wanted to have it false rather than you're not due to invisible property. So what here what I'm supposed to do, instead of true just mark it as false, just save it and switch to the browser, refresh it also. See, it is not going to be rendered over here. Okay, yeah, so what's next? The directive not hides the element like css. This is one more important point I'm just gonna to prove right away. Whenever we are just applying ngIf, it is like it is entirely removing the physical element, okay, from the DOM. It's not like it is gonna to attribute something with the cascading style sheet and just make the element not to appear. It's not like that. It won't hide, instead it will remove entirely. So let's prove how we can prove this. Go to your browser. As of now I just mark it as again true, and go to your debugger tool. Okay, and if you'll see here, right, yeah, so I'm just selecting this section. Here you can see, yeah, yeah, exactly. So if you'll see here, right, there is one content div and display section is getting rendered over here. Now let me make it as a false, and let's see what it is about to do. So let's make it to do again false. Yep. Okay, so now let's go to the browser. Okay, now try to refresh little bit, and our debugger tool is on. Now let me see, this is the HTML. and just within body just try to expand the node. Yep. Are you able to see anything apart from this scripts? No, right? See, this is gonna to prove like this is not at all rendering the deep. Now let me do the undo again and make it as true save and go to the browser again. Now if you'll see, definitely within body again it is going to render as display section within div. Okay, so that's what we are talking about. It physically removes the element instead of hiding like a css. So what css does then? So let's do something. Okay, let's suppose I am just removing this section. Here what I will do here, I'm just gonna to apply style. Yep. So style and display. Okay, display none. So what it does, it will simply gonna to hide the element. Yeah. So if you'll see, let me refresh the page. Now if you'll see here, right, the div should be there. Okay. Yeah, here you can see, right, the div is there. Okay, and within this div also you can able to see the display section. But what is the property? The display is none. And let's suppose I'm just trying to remove this element, it is gonna to display. But what ngIf does, it physically removes the element. Okay, so why remove instead hide? The what is the major difference? The main strong important point would have like you won't able to justify, or you won't able to find out. It doesn't matter really for a single paragraph or a single div element, right? But when it will host to a element to of an component, you can just think of, let's suppose I am just gonna to apply a styling attribute. But if that component is having some event, whenever the event will occur, it is still will be listening those events and processing and executing the data, right? It will have a impact on the backend as well as the front end, but internally you won't able to see, but it is executing. So what will be the result of that? What will be the out of that? There will be some slowness, space, it will consume memory consumption and all, and definitely, and it causes to a slight performance issue too. But there won't be any physical element itself. There is no such theory is implies here. Okay, so that's the advantage of why to remove instead hide, why to go for ngIf. So this is the reason being, you can assume with a very large component element, then it is gonna to perform issue, you're gonna to have a performance issue. So that's it, like why to go for ngIf instead any css cascading to hide the element. Okay, so one positive side of having why to hide, why to not go for physical remove, then it is the reason it reloads the DOM quickly and also preserve the state can be retained. So like as you see, I am having this display none property over here, right? If simple I'm just applying here, it is gonna to hide. Whenever I'm just removing it, it quickly comes up to the section. But what if it is physically gonna to exist, it is again need to follow the process of the browser memory. Again it needs to be load with the new div to the DOM element. Definitely it is like quite time taking, we can't assume, but it is really a time taking job. But in terms of performance, your memory consumption, a good code redundancy, program and all everything, you should go for ngIf. Just remove physically if it is not at all required. Okay, so now what asterisk prefix does basically, guys. Okay, so you might be knowing like the star mark is nothing but it is a synthetical, of course it is a synthetical representation, but actually what it happens, it does bit more thing. And what it does basically, it translates internally from star ng to ng template element wrapped around the host element like this. So let's suppose we have a div as we saw in the example. When it will turn, it will display like this, something like ng template. So the ngIf is going to be render the hosted element, the div into a ng template, and that ngIf is gonna to be have as a property. This is nothing but your property binding and the section. If it is true, then display it. If it is not true, then don't display it. So that's it. So now let me prove this as well. Okay, so let's undo it. Let's apply the ngIf only. Yep. And if here you can see, okay, let's see if yes. Okay, now move to the browser. Yeah, so refresh it one more time. Yeah, it's still it is display section. Now let me just put here. Okay, and if you'll try to just expand the node, here you can see guys, it is like ng content, and within this ng content is going to be bind what exactly to. Within that there is a div called display section. So that's it. It is binding in behind ng template. Yeah. Thank you viewers. Thanks for watching this video series. Please do subscribe to my channel on clicking on the watermark which is appearing on right lower corner, or you can go to the below description section and there is a subscription button. Click on and do subscribe and post at just a bell icon will appear. Just click on the bell icon to get notified whenever there is a post from my end. Also you can find the text version of all of my tutorial using this blog, and for to get the text version of this particular session you can visit to this URL. Okay, so I will be coming up with my next session soon guys. So till then, keep smiling, keep sharing your knowledge with others, and keep learning because learning never has an end. Thank you.